Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Jane Austen Summer Program's Sense and Sensibility vlog series. This will be the last episode of the series, so we are all super excited that you can join us. As always, I am Sarah.
I'm Nadea.
And I'm Maisie.
And we are here in support of JASP 2025, Sensibility and Domesticity, which will take place in historic New Bern, North Carolina this summer, June 19th through the 22nd. We will be focusing on Sense and Sensibility, Jane Austen's first published novel. And so over the last couple of months, Nadea and Maisie and I, we've all been kind of going through the novel together, just in a silly, fun, lighthearted way, nothing too serious or scholarly, but talking about some of our favorite parts in the book, talking about the romance, some of the themes of sisterhood and movement, lots of fun stuff. And today, to wrap it all up, we are going to take a very, very fun, very non-serious quiz to definitively determine which Sense and Sensibility character we all are. We've kind of talked a lot in the previous episodes, are you more sense? Are you more sensibility? Are you a Marianne? Are you an Eleanor? But today we're going to find out the truth, the ultimate truth. According to the internet, it is a U quiz on the internet I'm going to spell out the username because I don't know how to pronounce it, but it's by DAUEAM21. So thank you, whoever you are, for making this lovely quiz that we are about to all take and find out which Sense and Sensibility character we are. And we will link this quiz down in the video description. So if you want to take it along with us, we would love to find out what character you are as well. So the quiz introduction says, this quiz is based on the characters in the novel Sense and Sensibility by Jane Austen. We took these 19th century characters and took these personalities and translated them into modern day personalities. Our group aims to create a quiz that accurately represents these characters and expands beyond stereotypical characteristics by including a good range of characters. So I think what that means is they're not just focusing on Eleanor and Marianne. There will be several other characters from the novel that we could be as well. The first question is enter your name. So we will all enter our names. We are going to talk you through the questions, the answer choices, and everything that we're picking as we go along. And we hope that you'll have a lot of fun with this. So we're all going to put in our names, and then I believe Nadea will kick us off with the first question.
Thanks so much, Sarah. Okay, so first question is, what would you do if your significant other made you choose between them or your family? And the answers are, I'll just read them all out, and then we can talk about ours. Devote myself to my partner and see it through. My family has never been loyal to me. Say good riddance. If your significant other really loved you, they would never make you choose. It depends. How is my relationship with either one? I wouldn't want to lose my family or significant other, so I would find a solution to reconcile the two. Choose my significant other, obviously. Or choose my family and regret it later. Interesting choices. I don't know what I would choose, honestly. They're all kind of, it's not a great situation, obviously, but.
I think I'm going to put it depends. How is my relationship with either one? Because I feel like this is a very hypothetical situation. So, as it stands, if my significant other said, choose between me or your family, I'd probably pick my family because I love my family. I have a great relationship with my family. And I think that if they really love me, they wouldn't make me choose. But if in this like hypothetical world, I didn't have such a great relationship with them, I feel like for me it would depend. Are is my family like Fanny Price's family, or like what is my family really like in this hypothetical situation?
I think for me, I'm gonna choose, like, I wouldn't want to lose either, so I'd probably try to find a solution to reconcile them if possible, because also I would like my significant other and my family to like each other ideally, and I feel like they're not going to if they find out that there's an ultimatum involved. So I would try and like make peace, I think.
Yeah. I definitely see where you both are coming from. I think my first choice was like say good riddance. They would never make it.
Right.
Yeah, so that's my answer. Question 2. How would you react to being broken up with? All right, our choices. Stalk them on social media and refuse to accept it is over. Move on to the next guy or girl. Be patient and wait on the world to reward me with another love. I would respect my partner's decision and not try to change their mind. No one breaks up with me, I break up with them. Or stay calm and react only privately, never show emotion. Tricky. I feel like the last one probably for me, which is no surprise. I feel like we know who that's talking about.
I think this is a hard question. Because I've only been in one relationship that like you would actually call a relationship because there were labels in place. And I was not broken up with. I did the breaking up. So I haven't like ever been broken up with. It's just been really awkward situationships that have dissolved for one reason or another. So I feel like it's hard to answer from experience, but I think that one thing that I pride myself on is I would never, ever, ever, if somebody broke up with me, I would never ask them to take me back. I would be like, okay, cool. Like, I do not want to be with someone who does not want to be with me. So I think I would respect my partner's decision and not try to change their mind.
I feel like for me, I think I'm also going to choose that last option, the stay calm, react only privately, and never show emotion. Um, just because I get bad at like having important conversations and like talking about how I feel. So I feel like if someone was breaking up with me, I'd just be like, okay, I respect your decision. And then I would like cry internally for weeks. So that's my answer.
So real. All right, next question. Question number 3. How would you react to being cheated on? Silently, be in denial. I would never get cheated on. I would probably go crazy on them. Go crazy, then cry. I would be deeply hurt and need time and space to process my emotions, or I wouldn't let them. I think for me, this is a hard one. I feel like several of these can be true at once. I think, yeah, I do think several of these can be true at once. I think for me, it would be either silently or I would be deeply hurt and need time and space to process my emotions. But I feel like those two, like you can do those two at the same time. But I think that I would be deeply hurt and need time and space to process my emotions. Thank God I have never been cheated on because I do think that it would ruin me emotionally.
Yeah, the same for me. It is tricky. I've not been in a relationship, so all of this is like slightly hypothetical, but in this hypothetical circumstance, I know I would be. I would be deeply hurt and time and space to process my emotions. So
Yeah, I feel like that's probably a given. Just the being deeply hurt. I'm choosing the same answer just because for me that's one of my like big like absolutely not kind of things. So that feels like the closest answer to just like to say like okay, I'm done with this because I don't think I would go crazy on them. To quote the quiz, go crazy on them, go crazy then cry. I don't think I would do all that. But I would be like I would need like a second to like deal with that, obviously.
question 4. What does your dream wedding look like? An over-the-top wedding that costs over $500,000. Just a simple wedding. We should save all the money for the honeymoon. A large, extravagant gathering with everyone I love being there. A moderate-sized, cheerful audience composed of people from my neighborhood. A small, elegant gathering with only family and very close friends. A simple, traditional, and meaningful ceremony, hopefully in a church. Oh, yes, I have to answer first. I mean, the last two appeal to me the most. I mean, probably the last one for me, I think. Yeah, I don't know. I'll go with the last one.
For me, definitely the second one, like hands down. Simple wedding. We are saving all of our money so we can like travel the world together as a newlywed couple. If I ever get married, that is my dream to just gallivant around for like a couple weeks or so. So definitely simple wedding with the people who matter, but I'm planning to book flights and travel around a bit.
My answer is definitely the same. I'm also picking simple wedding, save the money for the honeymoon. I don't like weddings. I'm not opposed to the idea of marriage, but I don't like weddings because I just think they're so commercialized, and I feel like it's so much just for the guests and not for the people getting married. Um, Oftentimes today. And yeah, so if I don't get married in a courthouse, which is my preferred method, I would like to go to a courthouse and sign the documents and say, okay, sweet, if I end up regretting this, we will go renew our vows in 10 years and have a big hoopla then. But like for now, nothing serious. Otherwise, I would really like a backyard wedding. I think it would be very fun. I grew up very much in the country on a lot of farmland, and I think it would be super fun to have a backyard wedding and literally invite like 5 people because nobody look at me, nobody look at me. And then yeah, like preferably we could get married at my husband's house, and he has a nice pool, so we have like a pool party right after with like a
What?
cookout. Pool party wedding. That's my ideal wedding, guys. Just something really, just super low key like that. And then I would love to take a really fun honeymoon. I love traveling. So, a little European tour or something that's just really fun, or otherwise just save money, period, because I'm the most frugal, cheapest person alive.
Okay. Question 5. How would you react if an authority figure insulted you? No one speaks to me like that. I would fight back and refuse to back down. I would be taken aback and keep my composure but distance myself. Tell them off. Who are they to judge? I am secure in myself. Their opinion doesn't matter. I would be completely shocked. No one dislikes me. Don't react or respond, but be really hurt inside. I I have guys, I have problems with authority. So I think that I probably, if I'm being like totally honest, I would do the first one where it's like fight back and not back down. I would just be like don't be mean to me. Why are you being mean? Um I can take criticism, I can take like feedback. But I feel like the question saying like insulted you implies like a level of rudeness that I think I just wouldn't accept. So I would I would probably get a little vicious. Um yeah, that's my answer.
Valid. I think that I would be taken aback and keep my composure but distance myself. I try to remain level-headed. Um, Talking to authority does scare me. So I think that I would try to be cool and collected, but I would be kind of surprised, take a step back, and try to reassess and figure out what I need to do to keep going so that I don't get insulted again.
Yeah, my answer would be the same as you, Sarah. Um, yes, definitely kind of err on the side of being nervous in the presence of authority. Um, but I feel like I would try to keep my composure at first so I can kind of like circle back, like how can I kind of discuss the situation potentially later when I'm not as shocked. Um, yeah, maybe not give the impression that I was like,
Oh, bless you.
bless you.
Oh man.
We gotta keep that in. You can't edit that out.
No.
Okay, question 6. What is your favorite social media app? And the options are Twitter, Instagram, Pinterest, Tinder, Facebook, or Snapchat. For me, hands down, Pinterest, all of the media, none of the social is perfect. I get to sort my pretty little pictures into their pretty little boxes. Love it.
I don't have any social media, but I feel like what you just described, Sarah, encapsulates exactly what I would like to have in a social media. So I think I'll just kind of blindly go with Pinterest.
We need to get Maisie on Pinterest, guys.
We do
Peer
need
pressure.
It's such a great app, and it doesn't feel like a waste of time when you're on it. Even if you
Mhm.
spend quite some time on it, it feels productive stuff. So
I get a lot of recipes on it, so it's,
Ooh,
yeah,
okay.
DIY projects.
and phone wallpapers. Search like cool thing and then just add aesthetic after you like your search, whatever. Great results. Yeah. Pinterest also for me, I'll say that's my second choice, but I think if I'm being honest, which I'm trying to be honest, I'm trying to take an honest quiz. So definitely Instagram for me. And in my head, based on like the images on in this quiz, which are like the older versions of these apps, kind of their logos. I'm like, okay, it's not Instagram right now. It's like Instagram a little while ago. So I'm like, okay, cool.
Rationalizing.
I'm seeing like Twitter, and I'm like, okay, so it's not X, it's different, but still Instagram for my answer.
Question 7. What do you do when you romantically like someone? Do everything I possibly can for them. Go after them. You can't wait around for life to happen. Do a deep internet dive into their family history. Hesitant to express my feelings directly, so it takes a long time to confess. I would be open about my feelings, going to great lengths to impress them, showering them with gifts, compliments, and attention. Quietly wait for them to make a move. I mean, I feel like probably the last one. I've not been in this situation. Well, I mean, I have, but it's a story for another time. So, last one.
I have never made a move in my life. Nor do I ever plan to. Well, I mean, like I have for me, it's like I think that I'm making a move, and then my friends will be like, "What are you talking about? You didn't make a move. You asked if they wanted to study with you." And I'm like, "Shut up, I did my best." So yeah, also quietly wait for them to make a move.
For me, I think my answer is the first one, do everything I possibly can for them. I think it turns out I'm a very acts of service, like show my love kind of person. And I end up I'm like, oh, I can help. Let me help with that. I can do this. So I think that's how not necessarily like consciously, but I definitely am like, I can make you dinner. I'm like, that's my kind of romantic expression. Question 8. What is your aesthetic? And if you're taking the quiz alongside us, you'll see that there are pictures for these questions. But I'm just going to read out all the different options. I'm just going to read out all the different options because I can't speak pictures. So there's popular and trendy, there's chill and relaxed, elegant and pretty, modest and fashionable, cool English professor, or old money. And I feel like I know what I think we're gonna pick collectively. But for me, I have to go with the cool English professor. Looking at this image, it's just this is how I dress now. So I think that has to be my answer.
I am also cool English professor.
Yep. Cool English professor for me.
Yeah, I was like, the other ones are cool. They look nice, but I think we all know who we are.
All right, question 9. What is your ideal Sunday? Going for a hike in the countryside or taking a leisurely stroll in a local park and reading a book? Engaging in sports or other physical activities, such as horse riding, hiking, or boating? Shopping with no spending limit? Spending quality time with family and indulging in a new book? Outside reading a book with your significant other and a wonderful picnic? Or a calm, quiet day of relaxation and peace? I think my answer is definitely the first one. I love to be outside. I love to go walking or hike. And I also love reading. So perfect for me.
I like how many of these are you're with a book. You're with a book.
Yeah. They
I
really
think
knew their audience.
for me, I'm outside reading a book with my significant other and having a picnic because I love a good snack.
My answer would also be the first for exactly the same reasons that Sarah shared.
You guys are
Loving
going to get the
outside.
same result. And if you don't, that's crazy.
Yes. Yeah. Love being outside, walking, hiking. I'm just echoing everything Sarah said here. And obviously, I'm not complete without a book in my hand. So there we go. Question 10. What is your red flag for a partner? Not knowing what they want, someone who has a disregard for moral and ethical principles like honor and responsibility, someone who is irrational and insensible, someone who lacks commitment, not financially stable, someone who doesn't act and believe the things I do. I feel like all of these But
I was gonna say these are all not great.
Yeah, for sure. I feel like
probably
not knowing what they want and lacking commitment are really similar.
that's true. Yes. Probably the second one, I think. Although all of them are red flags.
Yeah, I agree. I also think all of these are really bad red flags. I think, not knowing what you want, for me, that's like, do you not know what you want as in you haven't decided on like a career path yet? Or, which like is fine. I think that's, you're always learning new things about yourself. Your life is unfolding as you go. But is that like you don't know if you want me? Like that would be a bigger issue for me. Obviously, someone who has disregard for moral and ethical principles would be bad. Someone who lacks commitment, I think, would also be a huge thing for me because, as I said earlier, like thank God I've never been cheated on because really, I truly think that that is the one thing I could never, ever, ever, ever forgive. Not financially stable, at a certain point in your life, that's if you're a teenager taking this quiz, that's maybe not as important to you. But when you're in your 20s, thinking about dating someone who's 25, 26, 27, it's why don't you have a job? Please don't be living in your parents' basements. And yeah, so I think there are a lot of red flags here. But I do think that ultimately, oh, this is so hard. I do think that probably someone who lacks commitment would be the biggest red flag for me. Closely tied with someone with disregard for moral and ethical principles. But I truly do think that like if you cannot commit to me, if you do not want to commit to me, like there's nothing worse you could do. I think like cheating is one thing that I think I could never ever ever forgive somebody for. So
Yeah, that's fair. These are all so awful. um, but I think I have to choose the someone who has a disregard for moral and ethical principles, because if you're not like honorable or like responsible, then like what are you? So that's my choice. Question 11. Would you prefer to read a book, see a movie, or attend a theater performance? Watch a theater performance to see the beauty and stage presence. Read a book in the grass. Read a book and then go see the movie, and then complain the movie was nothing like the book. See a movie only if it is a date. Watch a theater performance. Theater is the last true art form. Or none of the above.
I'm
I
reading
will.
a book in the grass, guys. I'm reading a book in the grass. Perfect afternoon.
Yeah, same for me.
I'm gonna read the book in the grass and then go see and then complain about the movie. It's the film major in me. I can't not see it. But then I will talk about, oh, the book was so much better. So that answer feels true to me.
Okay, question 12. Pick a book. This one's going to be exciting. So we've got Wuthering Heights by Emily Bronte, Frankenstein by Mary Shelley, Little Women by Louisa May Alcott, A Farewell to Arms by Ernest Hemingway, It Ends With Us by Colleen Hoover, and Normal People by Sally Rooney. This is hard on one hand and really not on the other for me. I do not like Ernest Hemingway, not a Hemingway girl. I've never read a Colleen Hoover book, but I've heard the horror stories. So that one's out. Never read Normal People. I really like Wuthering Heights, Frankenstein, and Little Women, but I think of those, I love Frankenstein and I love Mary Shelley. And so for me, it'll have to be Frankenstein.
Yeah, I'm gonna echo that for sure. Frankenstein for me. That's my favorite classic ever. It was one of the first classics I ever read, and I read it like by myself, like not for class or anything. And I felt like so super smart and academic. I was like 16, and I was like, yeah, I'm reading Frankenstein. But it's also such a fun novel. So that's my choice. But Normal People is a close second slash third. Normal People and Wuthering Heights are close 2 and 3 for me, because I do really enjoy both of those as well. Sarah, I think you would like Normal People. You should read it.
Does it have a happy ending?
I can't spoil it.
Well, I don't want to read anything that doesn't have a happy ending.
Okay, then maybe don't read it like right now. But I do think you
I need to be
would.
in the right headspace,
Okay.
guys.
Let me know when you're in a good headspace, and I'll say, "Hey, Sarah, have you heard of normal people? You should."
Okay, I'll
Um,
keep you posted.
Like Sarah, I have not read the last two. Also wouldn't call myself a Hemingway fan. Sorry. Um, of the first three, probably Little Women. I do love Frankenstein, like the story within the story within a story. I just think it's a brilliant novel. But Little Women was one of my very favorites growing up, and we have so many copies of that book in the house. So, for nostalgia's sake, I have to go with Little Women.
Throwback to the previous question. Which of the film adaptations do you prefer?
Oh, tricky, very tricky. I love Katharine Hepburn. I love how Kirsten Dunst plays young Amy, and I love the 2019 Little Women. That is my answer.
Okay. Valid answer.
I'll have to get your views on the topic, but at another time. There we go. Do you believe others generally have good intentions? Yes, why wouldn't they? I believe that others have good intentions unless there is clear evidence to the contrary. I'm not naive. I believe that most people are only interested in benefiting themselves. I believe people can be unnaturally cruel, with a few exceptions. Who cares about intentions? You gotta fend for yourself. Not really. Everyone is flawed. Hmm. I think it really depends. This is a very subjective question. Um, I mean, everyone is flawed, but I feel like I'd go with the second one. Um, that like I'm always going to assume the best unless there's like clear evidence that it's not the case.
I think I'm gonna second Maisie with that one. I I do know that everybody is flawed, and I know um nobody is good all the time, but I do try to give people the benefit of the doubt um until they prove me wrong, and then I'm like, okay, well, I guess they're just another human person. It sucks to be them. But yeah.
Yeah, I'll hop on the bandwagon. I'll choose that one too. Because I like to be hopeful. I like to have like faith in humanity and all that. But then it's like, okay, like if you do something bad, I'm gonna believe that like you're not like super great and awesome. So question 14. Do you talk to new people at social gatherings or stick with people you know? I like a 50-50 mix, mingling with new people, but also hanging out with those I know. I tend to be more comfortable with people I already know, but I'm polite and courteous to strangers. I am much more comfortable in the presence of my family. However, I would never ignore someone. I'm reserved, so I stick with people I know. Always willing to meet a new friend. Who knows what they could offer? I make my rounds. I'll talk to anyone if they're worthy of my time. I think for me, if I'm being honest with it and I'm like taking an honest quiz or whatever, I have to choose the second one because I do like talking to new people, but only like if they approach me first. And I probably won't be like, "Hey, new person, I'm me. Nice to meet you." Um, I'm definitely like I'm very extroverted within my social circle, and I'm learning how to branch out. But I'd definitely be more comfortable with people I already know. But then like chatty if someone came and chatted with me.
No, that's a good answer. I think I'd probably choose the same one. I'm never one to be like, hey, let's go to this social gathering. That's not me. I usually dread the social gathering up until the minute it occurs. Um, and but I feel like I do tend to like I can I can talk to people. Like I'm not just gonna go sit in the corner. Um, I may not be enjoying myself, but no one else is gonna know that.
Yeah, I think I agree. I think again, we're gonna all have the same answer because I am much more comfortable with people that I know, and I will stick to them. But then again, if a stranger were to approach me, I would be polite and courteous and engage them in conversation if they're engaging me in conversation, and I would never, turn anybody away or act like I'm too good to socialize, for sure. All right, that brings us to our last question. What would you want to change in yourself?
Mm.
Nothing. Often I let my emotions control me and get the best of me, so I would like to be more level-headed. I wish I were a little less of a pushover. I want to be more assertive and confident in expressing my own desires and needs. I wish I followed my heart more often. I wish I would not wait to tell someone I love them. I feel like a lot of these answers, again, are very, very, very similar to each other. Um, I think that I would probably pick I want to be more assertive and confident in expressing my own desires and needs because I do tend to be a pushover. And not even just a pushover, but I'm hesitant to say, hey, I want this, or I want that, or, I'm going out for this, and I'm not afraid to let people know even if I fail. So like I think that that's probably my pick.
At the risk of sounding like a bit of a narcissist, I'm gonna choose nothing, but hear me out. It's not because I think I'm like perfect and not flawed or anything. I just feel like for these things, I like to think that I'm like already kind of where I want to be with them. So like I don't think of myself as a pushover. I think of myself as like assertive and saying like I want this, like I want that. I definitely exclusively follow my heart, and I don't think I wait to tell people I love them either. I think I'm very like upfront about how I feel. Um and sometimes my emotions do control me, but I just don't want to be more level-headed. I like that I'm a very emotional person. So my answer for this one's nothing.
I like that. I think for me, like there are a few things, but I feel like maybe I wish I followed my heart more often because I feel like I'm very pragmatic and it can be to like a fault where it's like I must rationalize this whole situation and this decision. I know like not spontaneous at all, but I feel like might miss out on some things that life has to offer by like trying to plan it all out and think of all the facts. So that's my answer.
All right, are we ready for results?
I clicked the button.
Are we ready for results? I clicked the button too. All right, I think first we should all say who we got, and then we can read the little blurbs. Um, so who got what?
I got Edward.
I'm
I
also
got
Edward.
Edward too.
Wait, are we all Edward? That's so funny.
Oh my gosh, that's so silly.
Okay, I'll read the blurb for all of you out there who are taking the quiz along with us. If you didn't get Edward, like we did. Edward Ferrars is an honorable, intellectual, shy, and kind gentleman. It takes him a little bit to warm up to others, but he's a great friend once he does. As an ISFJ, he is kind, reliable, and trustworthy. ISFJs are hardworking, dependable, and rarely seek accolades for their own accomplishments. ISFJs are sometimes taken for granted by those around them. In some cases, people might even try to take advantage of this reliability. Edward shows support and care for those close to him and pays close attention to details. For those of you who don't know, ISFJ is a Myers-Briggs personality type. It stands for introverted, sensing, feeling, judgmental. I'm an INTJ, so I feel like, it's close, but not exactly. I do think that's probably a good I feel like I feel a bit of Edward Ferrars in me, so I'm okay with my result. I'm facing the music. What about you guys?
Well, you were reading that, and I was like, yes, yes, yes. So, yeah, I think I would agree. I'm an ISTJ, so also close, but not quite.
Oh, you're very close. Okay. I was for sure surprised. I'm an ENFJ. So I was like, I'm intro you think I'm introverted? I'm shy. I'm the shy character, but everything else I feel like he's a great friend. I'm like, okay, that's like me probably. And then like like everything else it said, I was like, okay, that feels like true to who I am. Was a little shocked though, not gonna lie.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting Edward, but
I was like,
I
maybe we're
like
all Eleanor or something, but
right.
like,
No, we're all Edward Ferrars, guys.
but
Oh, that's
also
so
I feel like
funny.
that tracks because I'm thinking of that scene from the movie that I talked about
The
a couple
awkward
episodes
scene.
ago. And I feel like we could, if we were in that scene, I feel like I could see us all as
We would all
quick.
play Hugh Grant very well. Just so you all know, the options, the potential results were Edward Ferrars, Eleanor Dashwood, Marianne Dashwood, Colonel Brandon, John Willoughby, and Lucy Steele. So those were the options. Those were the characters we could have ended up as, but didn't.
Ooh, interesting. You have percentages. Do you have percentages?
Yes, but the percentages are percent of people who took this quiz that
Oh.
got that result.
Gotcha. Okay. A lot of
Yeah, I was just looking at that too. Yeah, so we would love to hear about your results. Please put them in the comments. Please tell us which Sense and Sensibility character you are. I want to know if there are a bunch more Edward Ferrars in the room or if it's just us.
Yeah, so you guys should totally take this quiz. There's a link in the description, but also a link on the screen. So feel free to type that out and tell us in the comments, please, who you are, because we do really want to know.
And that just about wraps up our Sense and Sensibility vlog series. It's been quite fun to just get to chat about the novel. And we hope you've enjoyed our ramblings and thoughts and opinions and our quiz results as much as we have enjoyed making these vlogs for you all. And we hope very much to see you in New Bern in only a matter of weeks for JASP 2025. As always, I'm your co-host Maizie.
I'm your co-host Sarah.
And I'm your co-host Nadea.
And we'll see you in New Bern.